Thank you, Sherry. That was beautiful. And Tommy on accompaniment. On that. Exactly. On piano. The piano man. Okay, so today's Advent theme is hope and faith. So I wanted to look at the difference between both of those and how they work together. So hope is pretty easy, right? Because hope is a desire for something. So I hoped that we had, space for our church that we could call our own. Better yet, use as our own. I hoped for a space that could hold special services and during the week and during the year. I hoped for something that, we didn't have to do this whole breakdown, setup every Sunday. I was hoping for a space that could be inviting to new people. That was all the hope. The hope is the fuel. It's the starting point. Hope means that you see it, you envision it, you see all the possibilities. Hope is being able to see all the possibilities. So faith is the belief in it. It's the knowing it. You know it's possible at a very deep, deep level, that intuitive level, that perceiving level. Reverend Molly used to say, you know that you know that you know, right? Yeah. So I knew, I had faith in, I could feel the vision of that new church and knew that if we kept looking, we'd find that new space that we're in. And so I want to make sure we're clear when we're talking about faith. Traditionally, in most faith religions, we talk about faith as something out here, right? I have faith in this person, this thing outside of myself. But in unity, we really are talking about our own ability to believe in our connection with, our oneness with that life energy, that allness, the field of potentiality, the force. It's our connection and our oneness with that life energy itself. So faith is within us. And that's a new thought. A lot of times we think my faith is outside of me, but no, we're bringing it back inside. Our faith is within us. It's one of our 12 spiritual attributes. It is within us already. So Unity's Vice President of Prayer, Reverend Linda Martella-Whitsett, she writes this about faith. And there's a slide here, Suan. She says, faith is your rightful spiritual power of perception, conviction, and expectancy. As you cultivate your perceiving power, what you know expands along with the realm of possibilities. So, in other words, I and others had the expectancy to find a new space, and we did. So you see, we hoped, and the hoping was the dreaming part, the visualizing it part, but we also had that faith, that knowing of that possibility, believing deep within ourselves, and then as a collective. That's where that faith came in. So whereas hope is that vision of possibilities, faith is the perceiving, the intuiting, the knowing deep within us, and then affirming all of those possibilities. Hope is usually easier, right? Because we can sit around and hope all day. We can sit around and hope for a lot of things, or situations, or people. But faith really brings the stamina. Faith brings that determination, the persistence, the trust in the one power and one presence and our connection to it, us being a part of it. So faith means cultivation, cultivating a capacity for even greater expectation. So you faithfully live into that expectation. Do you see why it's so good that we just don't drop people there and say, we accept you right here, right now? Because we want them to live bigger, with deeper joy, with deeper inner peace. because we live into our expectation. So again, we hoped for a new place to call our own on Sundays and other days and stop the crazy making with the up and down and breakdown and set up. Repeat. And we had that faith and expectancy that we would find that place to meet our needs. So we kept taking the steps to have the faith match the hope. So hope again, we tell kids, oh, you're daydreaming. Don't daydream all day. It is so good, and actually now psychologists know this. It's so good to daydream. That's what gets our hope going, is that daydreaming. It's the visualizing. It's the vision boards. I know many of us have done vision boards with Valerie Kobe. That's where that hope comes in. I'm hopeful. I can start seeing it. The faith we grow through prayer and meditation, when we remember our divine nature, when we remember our connection to that field of potentiality, our connection with the oneness, the allness of life, God. But we must expand what we expect to see and receive. Because how you see the world is how you see the world. So Reverend Linda says, open your mystical eyes. I love that. Open your mystical eyes for greater vision and insight. In other words, look beyond the surface, look beyond the circumstances, and look at what's real, what's enduring, what's whole, what's the spiritual truth, truth with a capital T. So, we look ahead with hope, we visualize with hope, and then with faith, that's when we sit in that vibration. Remember, we're energetic beings. We're energetic beings, so we sit in the vibration of knowing that we know that we know that we know during our prayer and meditation time that all things are possible. We hope, we visualize, and then we sit in that vibration of absolute knowing during our prayer and meditation. So where do we see hope and faith in the Christmas story? Okay, Betsy, this is where the storytelling comes in. Okay. I haven't even told it yet. She's already clapping. Okay. Well, I think because she likes my updated version, right? I tell it how it is. So Mary is an unwed, engaged, but unwed, pregnant teenager. And she finds herself pregnant by the Holy Spirit. Now Joseph, who's engaged to Mary, he's thinking, Mary is not who I want to marry anymore because now she's pregnant. I'm going to quietly dump her because that's good for her. It won't cause a scandal. Now, if you think I'm taking this out of context, everyone, I wrote down the Bible right here for you. It says, Joseph, being a righteous man and unwilling to expose her to public disgrace, planned to dismiss her quietly. A man wrote that. Good old Joseph. So he was going to quietly dump her as to not cause a big scandal on her, when all of a sudden an angel appears and says, hey, dude, don't be afraid to take Mary, because Mary is actually pregnant with the child of God, with the Holy Spirit. It's God's child and should be named Yeshua. That's Hebrew for Jesus. So he says, wow. He wakes up from this meeting with this angel. Now, angels being our intuition. So now Mary has had this intuitive, this is the Holy Spirit. This is a special gift to be born to the world. Now here's Joseph, has that intuitive meeting with an angel saying you need to move forth on this. You need to support Mary in this. So they set out to Bethlehem from Nazareth because at the same time, King Herod has ordered everyone to register in their hometowns. Now, that's because he has heard that there's a king, a new king of the Jews coming. So he's like, I'm going to have everyone register, and you have to do it in your hometown. So they head from Bethlehem to Nazareth. It's a 70-mile trip. not in a Tesla. It's like a jalopy, because it's a donkey. And she's 9 months pregnant. I'm just saying, I've been pregnant twice. No. That would not go over well. So they make the trip 70 miles by donkey, but it also means because everyone is going to Bethlehem to register, the place is booked. It's like the Coachella Festival. There is no place to stay. But Joseph is like, this baby is coming. He's listening to his intuition some more. He's also probably seeing Mary and thinking, I need a place. So they find a stable, basically a barn with the animals. And here's where we have Jesus is born. Now, meanwhile, cut to, there's a group of angels that visit shepherds out in the field. And they say, glory be to God, because there's a child born today in Bethlehem who's going to bring peace to the world. And so they also follow the angels' voices and start to tell the story of there's a child, a special child bringing peace to the world. And then we have 3 wise men from the east who hear about the child, the new king of the Jews who will bring peace to the world. So they follow the star, and it's really interesting. There is a Christmas star. Google it. But they follow the star to Bethlehem, and when they get to Bethlehem, they start asking the people, do you know where this child is? And then they tell them, yes, he's born in this stable, and they bring the gifts. So can you see where hope and faith comes in? I mean, Joseph, I'm sure, is hoping he's doing the right thing. And I'm sure Mary and Joseph are hoping to find a place to stay. And I bet they're probably also hoping we can make this trip without me having this baby somewhere along the ways, right? Can we get from point A to B? They're probably also hoping that, I mean, if I was Mary, I'd be hoping that my child would be okay, seeing as it's being born in a stable around animals. I had my second son, who's now 18, at home on purpose, yes. A lot of people say, on purpose? And I say, yes. And I can remember that moment when I told my doctor I'm going to have a home birth. And she said, can't support you in that. Good luck. And that could have been a scary moment. Like there was a moment of like, ooh, am I doing this the right thing? But there was something within me that just knew. I had the deep faith it was going to be okay. I hoped, I saw it, and then I had the deep faith. So I can only imagine that Mary is feeling that same way. Because she had that voice, that angel, that intuition that said, no, this is a special child here to bring a gift to the world of peace. And so the faith, so there's hope, but then the faith to follow the angels, the intuitive guidance, the faith to follow a star. There's a hope that what they see is real, but the faith to follow it. Because otherwise, if they didn't have faith, they wouldn't have taken the action to make it happen. It's with faith in the angel, and the angels, and the star, and the Holy Spirit that everyone takes action on the hope. Because faith is an action. It's a verb. Remember last week we also played Mad Libs? You all are going to be really good with Mad Libs now. Faith is an action. Hope, again, you can sit around all day and dream and visualize, which is good. But faith means making the hope happen, moving it forward, taking the steps to make the thing that you're hoping for become manifest. You can't sit around all day in your meditation chair with your vision board and think suddenly it's going to appear. Sort of like finances. And I know we went through this at one point too. You can keep affirming prosperity and hoping that the money's suddenly going to appear in your bank account. But faith says, I believe in my prosperity so much that I'm going to connect with this universal presence I am a part of, and I'm going to make it happen. I know that I can make make my prosperity happen. So Mary and Joseph were hopeful, based on the intuitive messages that they were receiving, that this special child would be born and would be well and would be a gift to the world. But it was the faith that made it happen. We believe in this so much that we're going to take the steps to move the intuitive messages forward into reality and know that we're going to be supported along the way. So hope and faith work together, but you work them. You work them. Hope and faith are not ideas or ideals outside of you. They're both within you, and you have the opportunity to ignite them. So, here's some soul work for you. So, what are you hoping for? What is your expectation of it? How can you allow your faith to ignite your hope to create that which you are desiring? What are you hoping for? What is your expectation of it? And how can you allow your faith to ignite that hope to create that which you are desiring? And the road is not always going to be smooth. It may be a donkey ride when you're 9 months pregnant. But if you hold on to the vision with the feeling, with that deep feeling, and proceed with faith, because the universe gave the idea to you. And when you realize the universe gave that idea to you, whether it big or small, you hold on to it with that feeling of knowing that it's yours, you will be supported, even on the donkey ride of life. You will be supported. The people that you need will be there. So from our Christmas Advent book, Unity puts out an Advent book. We have a couple in our bookstore. But I love this part. It was actually written by a friend of mine, Trish Yancey. She writes, "When I am centered in source energy, holding fast to my faith, the unlimited substance of spirit pours forth. It shapes my thoughts, inspires my words, cultivates my actions, and leads me to the people and situations that will make the most positive and lasting impact on the world I am helping to create." And so with our new space, the people rushing in to help. We have Larry, who's helped build our stage. We have Sherry and Rick getting all of our sound and video equipment put together. We've got Grace coming forth to paint with, I think, Christine and Suwan. And Grace is also putting our new spiritual power artwork together, too. Tom Hollow dropped off a new leather couch for us. Others helping with packing. Others helping saying, I'll help unload on the other side. Others who are so joy-filled when they see the space or when they hear my vision and they start sharing that vision with me. The people arrive to support your dream because it's part of the oneness that we're all connected to. You can't not be supported. And so all of this helps propel the faith that started with hope. So here's my reminder to you. Take your hope and with your faith, make miracles happen. Take your hope and with your faith, make miracles happen. That is my desire for you this holiday season, and I cannot wait to see it happen. So, welcome to the Christmas season. Welcome to the first Sunday of Advent. Blessings, everyone.